So first you can just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Sarah Rogers. I'm a senior this year. I'll be graduating in December, and I interviewed at Hogan Taylor because I'm an accounting major.
What type of work did you do during your internship?
I did a tax internship, so I ran through a bunch of tax returns, completed a bunch of lead sheets to get everything to balance, and did tax returns for individuals and for businesses.
What was your experience like?
So whenever I first started, it was terrifying. It was my first internship, so I'd never done it before. I'd never gone out into the accounting field. So the first week, they just trained us, and it was like hardcore. They introduced us to this fake return, and then pretty much showed us how to do it. And then after that week, they let us go off to our desk in our offices, and they just said, go. And after that, I think it took like 3 weeks for us to get used to it without asking for help around the office from literally every single person we saw. But after that, it was easier to ask people stuff, because at first I was super nervous to talk to anybody because I felt like I didn't know anything. And after that, I just felt more comfortable, so it helped.
How did you hear about this position?
So I heard about Hogan Taylor through Meet the Firms. It's a big career fair that the accounting department does, and they were one of the first tables that were in there. So everyone kind of ran to the first person they saw, so I awkwardly stood in line behind everybody, and then when I got the chance, I was next. And I had already interviewed with them the semester before, but I hadn't had enough classes. But then after I'd already known who they were, I knew who to talk to, and I'd already met her. And they told me interviews were the next week, so I signed up, and they interviewed me and gave me a call back, and then it just went from there.
And what skills did you gain from this internship experience?
When I first started, I felt like I was super introverted and I was scared to talk to anybody. So after working there for a while and kind of having to depend on people to help you, I feel like I developed like a bunch of people skills and just be able to communicate better with the team. And I learned a lot of analytical skills too, because you kind of have to figure everything out on your own at first before you ask for help. So just figuring everything out and talking to people for sure.
What did you enjoy the most about your internship?
I enjoyed like the culture of it. The people made you seem like a new staff, so you weren't just there as the intern that runs around and gives people coffee. You were actually a staff, and they treated you like you knew what you were doing, so you didn't ever have to feel left out of anything. They invited us to all of the other events outside of the office on the days off, so I just felt like the culture was what really drew me to them.
And how did career services help you in your internship process?
Career services, this is where I got my interview, and then just the people that were in career services that day, they made me not be so scared whenever the interviewer was waiting for me, because I got here a little bit early and I was sitting here just like tapping my foot, scared of everything, so they made it a lot less stressful to be here.
Lastly, what advice do you have for students considering working an internship?
So when you do an internship, I feel like you need to connect with the people. When I first started, I thought that if I got up and talked to people, they'd think that I was slacking off. But after a while, if you're there and you're just constantly like looking at your screen, like that's good. But I feel like it's good to make connections too, because then that's really what draws them back to you whenever they're thinking about hiring for full-time. So just making connections with the people really makes a difference.